Hey guys, welcome back to another week of What's Up Wednesdays with your host Polish Gaming. Without further ado, we'll get into it this week. Okay, now this week on What's Up Wednesdays, we basically done quite a bit in terms of Xbox Series X games. Basically just trying to get my gamer score up a little bit. So with here, I've got Eri, Path of Corruption. That one there is an easy 1,000. Now, it is a flight kind of game, like a flight sim game in a sense. You're basically just a bird flying around, picking up items and stuff like that. There actually is a very easy way to complete this in seconds. You basically just jump into the level. I can't actually remember because I've played so many games in between it. Basically, I think you push the L1, L1, LB, RB, and Y and B, I think, and you push them all together. And then it basically jumps a level, you wait for a couple of seconds, jump the next level, and you do that however many times. I can't remember, I think it's around about 11 times, and you get the full 1,000. So really easy, can be done pretty much in the space of around about a minute, so very easy there. Next one here is Excessive Trim. Now this one here is a 4,000 gamer score shooter. I don't even know how you would actually put this. It is a shmup, like it is a shoot 'em up, but the thing is, there's no bullets that you use. All you're doing is pretty much, as the details say, you're basically a blunt smoking alien that's crashed through paddocks with his flying saucer. So pretty much you're mowing through cows, you're mowing through tractors, people in the field. You get upgrades every level. You basically can get upgrades like you add +1 to your life, you get another one along the way, you can add +3 to your life, but it takes away your movement. So there's a couple of things that you kind of be aware of, that they give you a little and they take a little. So some you just want the ones that give you, and that's a relatively easy 4,000. The last kind of two achievements, they're basically for getting to level 5. Now level 5 is not actually as hard as it says, but it is a little bit difficult in terms of once it gets past level 4, it ramps up. Once it gets past level 3, it ramps up the difficulty massively. You got a few continues, and depending on what ship you use, it can, and it can be a little bit annoying to use specific ships. But the ship that I used, which was just the standard one, was pretty good. Once I actually learned what the bomb is. Once again, another game that doesn't really give you a tutorial, it just basically shoves you in there and hopes that you know what you're doing. So the fact that I was trying to find the shoot button, eventually I found the whatchamacallit, I can't even think about it. Basically, eventually I found the dash button. So yeah, that's what you pretty much use to do it. Now, next one here is Glyphs of Gitzan. Gitzan, I believe Gitzan. It's a 3,000, but nothing really to write home about. It's just another puzzle one where you're moving around blocks to put on their respective places. So it's a pretty easy 3,000 there. Now, next one here, I was very surprised with. It's called Zerthos, the Heir of Thunder. At least I'm thinking it's Zerthos. It's got a V-Z-E-R-T-H-O-S. I'm pretty sure the V is silent, unless it's the Zerthos, which is nearly impossible. But Zerthos, the Heir of Thunder. Now, this one here is quite an interesting dungeon crawler, because I would literally put this as a clone of Diablo 2. Or 1, either one. It's basically to the point that it's a clone. Like, you start off in a certain area, then when you go into the actual plains, which is the town, center, you pretty much come up to 3 people that are very reminiscent of Tristram and Deckard Cain and stuff like this. So like even the music in the background is like exactly the same as Diablo. So I would say this is a very intense clone. If anything, how they actually got around it without getting sued by Diablo is beyond me. But it is a very easy dungeon crawler and 5,000 gamer score. Bear with me here. It's better. I just had it in the back of my throat. Now that is a very easy 5,000, like I say, dungeon crawler, and very. I liked it. I quite enjoyed it. The way that you level up and the way that you get things done, and by the end of it, you're pretty much a god and you're running around a little bit, not like Diablo, because Diablo in the end, you still have quite a bit of certain difficulty even if you get up in the higher levels. Now, next thing here is, I'm going to try and say this, Nephinthesis, I'm guessing. Nephinthesis. Yeah. But basically it's a 3,000 shmup. This is also another one where I was kind of not realizing that it had a bomb in it, and this kind of got me a little bit stuck in certain areas. So with this one, once I found out that was there, it was a very easy shmup, and it's very easy to shoot 'em up. It's quite fun. It's got some graphics here. It's all right. It's not too bad, and it's 3,000 gamer score, so you can't complain. I mean, I do like my shoot 'em ups, but sometimes they can get a bit tedious, especially when you're playing them all the time. Been actually looking for a few platformers, but I can't seem to come across them. Next one here is Primal Survivors. Oh no, the last one was 3,000 gamer score. This next one here is Primal Survivors. Now that's a 2,000 gamer score. Now I would put this as shooter / tower defense, because it's not really tower defense, but you're basically in the center of a map. You've got to shoot your enemies around, but you got the option to walk away from. So all you do is pretty much walk right and shoot. You get upgrades and everything like that. You got to get to level 15 for one of the achievements, and then you got to do the cursed, another cursed. I can't even remember actually what the name is. It's cursed something. I literally just played it, but that's how much it didn't really resonate with me. It wasn't a good game, but it's an easy 2,000, relatively easy. Just takes a little bit of time, but yeah, level 15 was a bit annoying to get to, and on top of that, versing King Kong in the cursed map, where it's a little bit annoying. Well, Kongy and stuff like this. Yeah, it's but hey, not too bad. Now with that puts me for the week at 18,000 gamer score. Now it's quite a lot this week. I definitely am trying to. I'm trying to get ahead of Lush New Zealand, but he just literally knocked in another 10,000 gamer score this week. So there's definitely, I've got more gamer score than him this week. So if I keep doing that, I will get through it. I'm contemplating buying a few more games this week. I mean, once I get my PC up and running, I'll be doing the Windows games, and there's a lot of 5,000 gamer score in there. So I would most likely be boosting it up over a week at one point and beating him. But if he's watching, I hope you're ready for it, because I'm definitely going to come in hard at one point, and I'm gonna try and take that 5th spot from you. So yeah, so that's and with that, I'm at 1.1 million and 340 gamer score. So 1,100,340 gamer score. So it's not too bad for the week. And pushing into 1.1. Once I push into the 1.3, that's where we start getting into level 4, number 4 territory. And of course, we're at 1.5 is is position 2, and number 1 Neo Master is at 2.4 million. So that's still a while away, but hey, I'm not saying I can't get him, but eventually I'm gonna have no option but to try and go for him. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Now, on to also sports this week. We've had a relatively good run with the Olympic Games. There's been a bit of commotion from the games. There's been the boxing, which I'm pretty sure you guys have most likely heard about. There's been where that guy's package came out in the pole vault. That was pretty funny. Unfortunate for him. I mean, well, not unfortunate for him. He's probably going to get a lot of people wanting an OnlyFans from him. But yeah, it's pretty funny, and there's been a bit of weird stuff ever since the start of it. You know, the Canadians were basically spying on the on New Zealand teams. Like, it's been a bit weird, and it's been, honestly, it's probably one of the only games where I haven't really focused too much on. I normally really like Olympic Games. I find it's the best of best. You're literally watching the world's best go at it. So I enjoy those competition kind of. I enjoy all sports really. There's not much sports I don't like, but with it, it's just been really lackluster. I mean, from the opening ceremony being pretty much catastrophe, and we're not talking about just in terms of what that last supper thing. I mean, that was just not needed. I get it, but it's not really needed in terms of Olympics. Like, I get they're wanting to flourish and what their country is, but it just seemed really bizarre to put something like that in. But like I said, outside of that, it was just lackluster. That going along an absolutely dirty river, which people are getting contaminated from. Like, it's crazy that this kind of games is going on, and there's been really no, I don't know, quality control in a sense. Like, it just seems really bizarre and a bit boring, to be honest, this one. But New Zealand has got 3 golds so far, 5 silvers, and 1 bronze. So that puts our tally at 9. And with that, we are in 13th position. Now, for a country that sits right down the bottom, whichever way you look at it, right in the corner of the map, we are very, what do you call it? We're really pretty good in terms of what we do in sports. Like I say, we got some pretty. I've said this before. We got some pretty good teams in here. We do very well and everything else. But we normally do pretty well in the Olympics. We still got a little bit of time. We might be able to push into the top 10, but that's pretty good considering how small our country is and how much of an impact really we have on sports. So it's good to see. Now, next one here is I'll also talk about the Xbox 360 store. That went down last week as of, I think it was the first. It was pretty much the first day. Now, the Xbox 360 layout looks a little bit odd. It's skewed the whole thing, taking away the Xbox store, and it's skewed it. It's made it look really, to be honest, pretty ugly. But as I said before, this is going to make things skyrocket. I mean, already people are trying to list Deadpool Xbox 360 because of the movie and because of the delisting. They're already trying to put them over $100 plus. In England, they're selling for regular £60. So that New Zealand money is around about $125, $130. So that's ridiculous if you think about it. That a game that used to be sit around about 30, 40 normally. It was a relatively obscure title to get. It was one of the later releases on the Xbox 360, so it is on the one, and that tends to be a little bit easy to get, but the 360 is getting scarce. All the Marvel movies, the Wolverine has just jumped up. All of these games are going to start getting really increased in price, even to the point of ones with especially compilation packs. Like I've got one that's coming in hopefully this week, which is the Star Wars Force Unleashed 2. Now that's the Sith edition. So that comes with all the DLC that you can't get. So that's on a CD. There's no DLC codes. That will start to go up in price because of the fact that you can't get it anymore. There's no physical way of getting that game unless it's physical, and there's no physical way of getting the DLC. A lot of DLC codes won't work anymore, so that's a little bit of a bummer if you didn't do anything. I have a few games in there that I know that I haven't used codes on, but I was never going to go for the DLC anyway. In my eyes, it makes it a complete game with the DLC codes in it unused. So yeah, it's been a little bit of trials and tribulations of how it is, but at the moment it seems to be, it's not coming back. It's definitely done. It was really kind of a little bit of a mixed bag. They started doing the sales like crazy for all the games that weren't backwards compatible, but it's done now, and we are in the midst of starting to get into games going up in price dramatically. It's what happens when stores starts to list things. 3DS is starting to go up because they're back in maybe about a year ago they delisted the 3DS store. What do they call it? Nintendo store, pretty much the 3DS side of it and the 2DS. So that's pretty much dead. Games go up in price automatically once you can't get them. You can only get them physically, and this is what I'm saying about going away from physical. I would rather definitely physical. I don't really like digital. I like physical all the way. And when it comes down to games like arcade games and stuff that I'm playing to get games quick, I don't mind getting those for the Gamer Score and paying $3, $4 kind of thing for these games just to get them and complete them. I keep them, even though I can delete them and get them later. I basically have 7 terabytes of hard drive space. I've got a 4 terabyte, a 2 terabyte, and a 1 terabyte from the Xbox Series X. So I use a lot of it. Once I'm finished with it, I'll put it into a completed folder, and then I'll chuck it over to my hard drive. If it comes out with any DLC later on, if it needs to, I'll play it straight from the hard drive. But if it needs to be played like an Xbox Series X, which needs a solid state drive, so basically 10,000 RPM or higher hard drive, you get anything like that and it pretty much won't play. So you have to pull it across, update, finish the game, chuck it back across. So it just keeps a little bit of space on my main hard drive. Now that's pretty much it for this week, but we are about to show you one of the games that I thought I'd give a little bit of jam. I haven't actually given a jam yet. That's Arrow Flash. This is a very fun little shoot 'em up. It's a horizontal shooter, pretty much like your R-Types. I feel like Gradius is also in there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Gradius is a side-scroller. Yeah, and basically this one here, sorry, not side-scroller, is a horizontal shooter. But yeah, this one here is pretty cool game. I only got to level 2, and the reason for that is this is one of those Nintendo Mega Drive era difficulties of hard. You got 3 lives, 3 continues, and it's not even that bullet hell. I think, to be honest, I was really suffering with the fact that I have an old 3-button joystick, a 3-button Mega Drive controller that is really flogged. I would say most likely it needs its rubbers replaced, maybe even the contacts cleaned. It is a little bit dicky when it comes down to like going left, right, up, down, stuff like that. And sometimes the buttons, considering it's one of those games you can't auto shoot, you have to keep pushing the button. So that gets your RSI going crazy, or the carpal tunnel holding away. It looks fun. I will go back to this at some point. I just had a limited another week where I've just got limited time. Honestly, I play a lot of other games, and the retro kind of stuff does take a bit of a back burner. But I am trying to get into just playing at least 1 or 2 a week, and I enjoyed this. I did enjoy it. I will go back to this and try and get past level 2. The reason why I didn't really get past level 2 is I think it was the janky controls. It was a little bit of a confusing way to play it. It just was like, yeah. Also, it has this one where you can split between, you use the A button with the A button, and pretty much you can split between being a ship or a robot. And I haven't actually seen any difference in it. You get upgrades, of course. The upgrades come very, you get a turret from the first level, then you get missiles in the second level, basically with that. But to upgrade your gun, you got to look for, I know the A is for the power up, and you basically, and to be honest, the bomb or the power up move that you use is pretty OP. Like I went up against the first boss in level 1, and I went right to the end, push the power up button, and all you do is just start flashing. So you go in and you pretty much just go right on top of them. And within the second of me being on this on the ship, he's like, he's going down. So I think it's almost a really OP that that you get that. And of course, during it, you get, like I say, you get ones that are A, and they basically will bump your bombs up, and you can pretty much chuck them away as willingly as you want. And with the eyes are pretty much to do up your weapons, and the S is your shield. And I feel like there was one, I think it's D at the start, then M, because it goes drone and then missile. So I think they, but everything else, the A, bombs, I, guns, S, shield. The other two, the other one is basically what, depending on what level you are, depending on what letter you get. But yeah, fun little game. I recommend it. It isn't a cheapie, and when our Mega Drive is really cheap, but with this one, it tends to kind of sit around about $80 to $90, sometimes even up in the 120 range. So fun little shmup, and I'm pretty sure with that one you would enjoy yourself if you had a little bit of a go of it. But yeah, that's me for this week. I will be here, of course. You guys hopefully will be there as well on Sunday when I get my weekly pickups. I haven't really had that much this week, but I have got some few Sega titles, so I'm pretty happy with that. But until then, we'll see you later, and yeah, we'll see you soon. Have a good day.